Hello, Diana. How are you today?
Good morning, teacher. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm fine, thanks.
We are going to wait a little bit for the rest. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, I think we can start right now because Carlos now is here and Dayana. And Carlos, tell me about your week, your last week. How was your last week?
Teacher, I was studying a lot because I must develop many talks about many topics in the different lesson of the career. So I was very busy all weekend.
Okay. What about you, Dayana?
Okay, teacher. My routine always is the same. Always um, always I be in my home studying. Nothing more.
Okay. In my case, I had my son's birthday, and it was amazing actually. We had a great time with my family, and we shared a lot of food and cake. We uh, try to share time because we don't have too much time to share, and it was very nice actually. So now we are going to start the class, and this class is about the present, the simple present. And let me share my screen with you. Okay. Okay. This is the simple present, the topic for today for the course Intermediate English 1. So here I have some examples about simple present tense. The simple present tense is used for instantaneous situations, for example, in sports or in some jobs, for newspaper headlines with non-progressives when telling histories, in ceremonial or formal conversations, for habits or and repeated regular actions, with for future constructions, for general truths or scientific facts, for giving direction and instructions, for scheduled programs or arrange future. So this is some examples about the simple present tense, but now I am going to share with you a video about the simple present tense. If you notice some new vocabulary, you can also um, write in a paper, and after we figure out what is the new vocabulary, okay?
Nothing has the power to convey complex ideas as easily and with as deep an impact as animation and video. How to Simple present tense. There are 12 verb tenses in the English language. For the simple tenses, we have the simple present, simple past, and simple future. For the perfect tenses, we have the present perfect, past perfect, and future perfect. For the progressive or continuous tenses, we have the present progressive, past progressive, and future progressive. And lastly, for the perfect progressive tenses, we have the present perfect progressive, past perfect progressive, and future perfect progressive. This lesson will talk about simple present tense. To make a positive simple present statement, simply follow this pattern. Subject plus main verb. Simple present tense is used for the following reasons. Number 1, for things that are true in general. Examples: Cheetah is the fastest land animal. Fruits and vegetables contain a lot of vitamins. Mr. Jackson lives alone. Cheetah, fruits and vegetables, and Mr. Jackson are the subjects in these sentences, while is, contain, and lives are the verbs. Number 2, for habits or for things that happen sometimes or all the time. The following adverbs are commonly used for simple present tense. Never, sometimes, usually, frequently, often, and always. Examples: I sometimes skip breakfast. She goes to school late. Mr. and Mrs. Jones always visit their grandchildren. I, she, and Mr. and Mrs. Jones are the subjects in these sentences, while skip, goes, and visit are the verbs. If you notice, all the examples follow the pattern subject plus main verb. For the negative sentence, the pattern is subject plus doesn't or don't plus main verb in base form. Examples: Peter bakes delicious cookies. Peter doesn't bake delicious cookies. My classmates like our history teacher. My classmates don't like our history teacher. If you notice, the main verbs in these sentences are all changed into their base form, bake and like. For questions, the sentence structure is do or does plus subject plus main verb in base form. Examples: You like ice cream. Do you like ice cream? She lives in New York. Does she live in New York? They study in the same school. Do they study in the same school? Remember that in making questions, do and does should come first. Try to compare the differences between the structures of the simple present sentences. We have here the positive and negative statements and the questions. Examples: Her perfume smells good. Her perfume doesn't smell good. Does her perfume smell good? Honey comes from bees. Honey doesn't come from bees. Does honey come from bees? The third one: Tim and his friends play chess all the time. Tim and his friends don't play chess all the time. Do Tim and his friends play chess all the time? The last one: Dad and Uncle Jim watch football every night. Dad and Uncle Jim don't watch football every night. Do Dad and Uncle Jim watch football every night? For our exercise, make sentences in simple present tense. The first one: Sunlight helps plants grow. The negative sentence should be sunlight doesn't help plants grow. And for the question, it should be does sunlight help plants grow? The second one: she doesn't work in a bank. The positive statement should be she works in a bank. And the question is, does she work in a bank? The third one: do bears hibernate in winter? The positive statement should be bears hibernate in winter. And the negative statement should be bears don't hibernate in winter. The fourth one: Mrs. Scott cleans her house every morning. The negative statement should be Mrs. Scott doesn't clean her house every morning. And the question is, does Mrs. Scott clean her house every morning? And the last one: You don't brush your hair every night. The positive statement should be, you brush your hair every night. And the question should be, do you brush your hair every night? Did you get it right?
Okay. This is the video for simple present tense. Okay. So, like we saw in the video, we use for some situations. The verb has to be in the regular form. Okay. For example, here, Ronaldo passes the ball to Benzema. Here we use in the third person the es, okay? So, man enters space for newspaper headlines. With non-progressive, I believe that you are innocent, okay? When telling histories, suddenly the window opens and a masked man enters, okay? Opens, we can see the S. In ceremonial or formal conversations, I pronounce you man and wife, okay? Or habits, like we saw in the video. The child drinks milk every day. With future constructions, I will call you before I leave, okay? For general truths or scientific facts, water boils at 100 centigrade. For giving directions and instructions, first of all, break the eggs and whisk with sugar. Okay? For scheduling programs or arranging future. The examination will start at 9 o'clock tomorrow. So, this simple present tense is very easy. Here in the video.
Nothing has the power to convey complex ideas as easily and with as deep an impact.
Simple present tense.
Okay. Here we can see some examples. So in the first one, for things that are true in general, cheetah is the fastest land animal. Fruits and vegetables contain a lot of vitamins. Mr. Jackson lives alone. In third person, remember to add else, for example, in this case. Here. Some adverbs that you will use in this kind of simple present tense, but here we can see the verbs visit, skip, goes, okay? And here are the questions. So here, you like is the verb like. You like ice cream. For questions, do you like ice cream? We use do or does. She lives in New York. Does she live in New York? Here, because we use this does, we don't add again the S. We omit the S. Does she live in New York? Okay. And here we have some examples in negative. Honey comes from bees. Honey doesn't come from bees. So we use doesn't here or don't. Doesn't for third person, don't for the rest. Okay? I have here another examples. We use this form, the present simple, for different kind of facts. Habitual actions, like we said before, things that don't or won't change. Or for describe yourself. For example, I read books every morning, for example. We use the adverbs of frequency, often, usually, sometimes, never. Okay. So we say we add the as plus the verb plus the object. We use don't or doesn't. Depends of the person. If it's third person, we use doesn't. Okay? The same here. Does or do. The same thing. Okay? Okay. Now I have another resource to show you the simple present tense. The simple present tense is one of several forms of present tense in English. It is used to describe habits, unchanging situations, general thoughts, and fixed arrangement. The simple present tense is simple to form. Just use the base form of the verb. I take, you take, we take, they take. The third person singular takes. We add the s at the end. He takes or she takes. Okay? The simple present tense is used to express habits, general thoughts, repeated actions, or unchanging situations, emotions, and wishes. I smoke. This is an habit. I work in London. Unchanging situation. You always are going to work in London. London is a large city. General truth. To give instructions or directions. You walk for 200 meters, then you turn left. To express fixed arrangement, present or future. Your exam starts at 9, okay? To express future time after some conjunctions. After, when, before, as soon as, until. He'll give it to you when you come next Saturday. Okay. Be careful, the simple present tense is not used to express actions happening right now. We saw the last class and we used the verb plus the ing form. This is different than that kind of form than here in the simple present tense, okay? So for habits, he drinks tea at breakfast. She only eats fish. Like you can see, we add the s at the end of the verb because it's third person. They watch television regularly. For repeating actions or events, we catch the bus every morning. We use every morning here. It rains every afternoon in the hot seasons. They drive to Monaco every summer. Okay? This is kind of repeating actions. For general truths, water freezes at 0 degrees. The earth revolves around the sun. Her mother is Peruvian. This is general truths, doesn't change. Okay? For instructions or directions, open the packet and pour the contents into hot water. You take the number 6 bus to Watney and then the number 10 to Bedford. So this is for instructions or directions. So here we can see for fixed arrangement. His mother arrives tomorrow. Our holiday starts on the 26th march. With future constructions, she'll see you before she leaves. We'll give it to her when she arrives. Okay? So here we have the same thing. Affirmative, interrogative, and negative. I think. Do I think? I don't think. So you think? Do you think? You do not think. He thinks. Here we add the S on the end of the verb. Does he think? Like you can see here, we don't add the S. Does he think? He does not think. She thinks the same thing. We add the S at the end of the verb because it's third person. Does she think? She does not think. Or she doesn't. We can actually use the other form. I thinks the same thing. Does it think? It does not think. We think. Do we think? We do not think. They think. Do they think? They do not think. Okay? We always add the S at the end. Okay, we saw this. Here we have some examples. He goes to school every morning. She understands English. It mixes the sand and the water. It tries very hard. She enjoys playing the piano. Okay? And here, let's see if we have, okay. We finish with this one. Okay. So for example, here, things that don't change. Here we have the same for negative sentences. We use don't or doesn't. The same thing that we saw before. You speak English. You don't speak English. He speaks English. He doesn't speak English. The same thing that I explained before. We don't add the S in negative. We add doesn't speak. The third person verbs lose the final S in negative sentences and also in question because we don't add the S, we add do or doesn't. Okay. Here, I now live in Japan. We don't say like that. We say, I don't live in Japan. She has a cat. She doesn't has a cat. We don't say like that. Okay? She doesn't have a cat. If we use don't or doesn't, we don't change the verb. So it's just like that. She doesn't have a cat. Okay? The contractions like I explained before, we use do not or don't or doesn't, does not. But always we use the contraction, especially when we are talking. We use the contraction. So here I have another explanation about the simple present tense. In positive form, the verb is the regular one. In the third person, we add the S. Don't forget, this is important. Depends of the verb if you use S, ES, or IES. In negative form, we use does not or doesn't in third person. Here we have the other one and we use do not or don't. Okay? And the verb is the same. So, for example, here we have some examples. I like it. She likes it. We add the us in positive form. In negative, I do not like it. She doesn't like it. In question, the same thing. Does for third person, he, she, or it, plus the verb. Does she start? And here we have the other one. Do I start? For example, do you like it? Do you like it? He likes it. Does she like it? Okay. And here I have another explanation about this topic. Okay. The present simple in everyday conversation. Some students are so keen to know about English grammar and to learn the rules that they forget something. Grammar is just one ingredient used in communication.
Sir, we're filming a commercial for Stanley's restaurant. May I ask you one or two questions?
Certainly. Go right ahead.
Rolling. Do you go to Stanley's restaurant on Wednesday?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because I like Chinese food.
Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure.
Excuse me, we're filming a commercial.
A commercial? You mean a TV commercial?
Yes, may I ask you one or two questions?
Sure.
Rolling. Do you go to Stanley's restaurant on Sunday?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Because I don't like American food.
I see. Well, thank you, anyway. Excuse me, sir. We're doing a commercial. May I ask you a few questions?
Sure.
What kind of food do you like?
I like Russian food.
When do you go to Stanley's restaurant?
I don't go there.
Why not?
Because Stanley doesn't cook Russian food.
What? Stanley doesn't cook Russian food?
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Thanks anyway.
No problem.
Why didn't you tell me? Stanley, your restaurant is a very special place.
Thank you.
What do people do at Stanley's International Restaurant?
On Monday, they speak Italian, eat Italian food, drink Italian wine, and listen to Italian music. On Tuesday, they speak Greek, eat Greek food, drink Greek wine, and listen to Greek music. On Wednesday, they speak Chinese, eat Chinese food, drink Chinese...
Thank you, Stanley. Yes, Stanley's International Restaurant is a very special place. So come on over to Stanley's Restaurant, the International Restaurant, where Stanley cooks a different kind of food every day. Okay? It's a wrap.
It's a wrap?
Yes, we're finished.
It's a wrap.
Okay. Okay. Diana, what do you understand about the video?
Okay, teacher. Sorry. I understand about the video is the chef says says on schedule calendario.
Yes, it's good.
Calendario uh, about the foods in the week. For example, in Mondays, he prepared food Italian. Wednesdays prepare Chinese food. And Thursday prepare Greek food.
Yes. Does he prepare Russian food?
Russian? Russian. Russian. I believe that is Sunday.
No.
I don't
In
remember.
the video says that the the reporter asked to the, one Russian guy, and he says no. In this restaurant, they don't prepare Russian food. So, what about you, Carlos? Did you watch the video? Carlos? Carlos? Are you there? Carlos, did you watch the video?
Yes,
What do you understand
I
about?
I watched the video, teacher.
Sorry,
Can you
I cannot
repeat,
hear you
please?
properly. Can you turn your camera off? Maybe I can hear you better.
Okay. The video is about the care.
Carlos is gone. Okay, no problem. Okay.
Oh, teacher, o mejor no será que escriba porque también se oye entrecortado. Escriba lo que le entendió o lo que
No, but he is not now with us. So it's okay, don't worry. Okay, what else? We can check again the video a little bit.
Stanley's International Restaurant. What kind of food does Stanley cook on Wednesday?
On Wednesday, he cooks Chinese food.
Chinese food?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you.
Like you say, Diana, the chef have different schedule for the week.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. Does Stanley cook Chinese food on Monday?
No, he doesn't.
So Stanley cooks Chinese food on Sunday? No, he doesn't. Okay. We use done or doesn't for the negative. Here we have another one, I guess.
2 questions?
Certainly. Go right ahead. Rolling.
Do you go to Stanley's restaurant on Wednesday?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Okay. Do you go to the restaurant on Wednesday? Yes, I do. Here we have the present simple form. We use just for here she uses for the question. Do you? And he responds, yes, I do. Okay. So here we have some images. I want you to, Dayana, you can check the images and you can practice the simple present tense. So you can write on a and we can if it's true or not. You can make affirmative questions, negative, whatever you want. Dayana and Carlos too. You can write it in the chat, please. Exactly, that, Carlos. She likes singing a song. Yes, you can use with ing the other verb. So Dayana, does he drive a red car? Remember, you don't need to use the S in the question form, just in affirmative. Okay? Doesn't like. She doesn't like singing a song. She like. Again, remember, when it's a question, you don't need to add the S, okay? Just in affirmative form, remember, just in affirmative form. Okay, and like Carlos says, when the verb is have, you need to, in third person, change this have to has, okay? This is very important, like you say, Carlos, very good. This is important. I forget this part, but is really important. You need to change. So they have, but she has. Okay. For example, she has a father, or something like that. Very good. Remember, when it's a question form, you don't need to add s at the verb. Just does or don't. Okay. Like here. That she likes singing a song, very good. That she works, Dayana, you need to change this one. That she work, okay, in a primary school. Okay, very good. Here we have another examples. You can also write about these examples. Remember when you explain something like here we say el carro rojo, but there with the English we change that. So first it's going to be the red, the color, and after the object, the car. So the red car, okay? We need to change our way of think, because always we think in Spanish, but we need to change that because it's important when we are talking in English. Okay. Okay. So do you have any questions about the topic? No? It's just question of start to write in this kind of form. This is usually very important because we need to add this S in the third person. This is very important, okay? And use the do, does, or don't, doesn't, okay? For the topic. I have here, oh, let me share my screen again. Okay. I have here some examples about the topic. For example, my son lives in London, okay? She plays basketball. Here we add the S at the end of the verb. He catches the train every morning. We use a different kind of we use adverbs of frequency always for this. For example, always, usually, often, sometimes, okay? Like here. Michael doesn't work. Here is the negative sentences. My father doesn't speak good English. So here we have the example of go. In third person, we change goes. He goes to football every day. Here we have another one. We add just the S. He loves to play basketball. Again, he goes to school. So here we have the question form. Does he go to the school? She writes an email to her best friend. He thinks he is very handsome. It usually rains every day here. It smells very delicious in the kitchen. We generally sing songs all together. We go to a gallery every Sunday. Here I have another question. Does he write an email? Okay. Here we have a lot of different kind of examples of this simple present tense. Just remember to add the S in the verb when it's third person. Just in affirmative form. In question, do or does. Depends of the subject. And in negative, we use the same thing, do or does, okay? And the verb without S. We don't add the S at the end, just in affirmative. Remember that, okay? And I have here some examples. Let me check again. Okay. So I want you to help me to check the correct option using the present simple test. Remember, you need to add the S and you need to check if it's positive, negative, or in a question form, okay? So, for example, here we have the first one. Bob always drinks tea in the morning. Carlos, what do you think? Is drink or drinks? Carlos, do you hear me?
Yes, teacher. I think Bob always drinks tea in the morning.
Okay, we have this one, yes?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. The second one, Dayana.
Um, what does she likes?
She likes. Okay, Dayana, do you think this one is working? Remember the S you add or you don't add? You think it's this one?
Yes.
Okay. The third one, Carlos.
My sister doesn't play tennis.
My sister doesn't play tennis. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, the fourth
Yes.
one, Dayana.
They often visit their grandparents at weekends.
This one?
Yes.
Okay. The next one, Carlos.
What number? Fourth?
Number
We sometimes go to the five. Okay. We sometimes go to the ice rink.
okay, this one, yes?
Yes.
Okay, number 6, Dayana.
Um, uh, where does your parents come from?
This one,
Yes.
your parents come or comes?
Come.
Come, okay. And the next one, Carlos.
Do you want to go home?
Do you want to go home, okay? The finally one, Dayana.
I don't watch television after school.
Okay, okay. Okay. Okay, now we need to complete using the present simple again. So, Carlos, you can fill the blank. What do you think is this one?
Can you watch me the exercise again, teacher? I cannot watch them.
Okay, the first one. Complete using the present simple. So remember for the question, here we are talking about uh, um, um, a female person, third person. So which one is this one?
Okay.
If we are going to use visit as the verb.
Would Sally visit in Spain?
The Sally visit. Okay. The
And the
next one.
answer, okay,
Yes.
and the answer is she visits her aunt and uncle. Visits, okay.
She visits her aunt and uncle. Okay. The next one, Dayana.
Um, yes. Eh, does goes Tom um, does Tom does Tom goes to school by bus?
Okay, like this.
No, he does. He he go to school on foot.
Like this one. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. The third one, Carlos.
What does she watch on TV?
Watch.
She watches the news, but she doesn't soap operas.
Okay. Like this, yes?
Yes.
Okay. The fourth one, Diana.
Mm,
Let me
um,
move this a little bit.
um, do they like swimming?
Okay.
Yes, they do, but they don't like running.
Right. Okay. The last one, Carlos.
When do you go to a football match?
Can you repeat?
I go to a. Okay. When do you go to a football match?
Yes.
I go to a football match on Sundays.
Okay. Okay. We finished this one, okay? And now we are going to check the questions and let me check one more time. Oh my goodness. Here we can check. So the first one, okay. Okay. You did the first one, Carlos. So it's good. Here we have a mistake, Diana. So when it's question, remember, we don't need to add the S at the end of the verb. So here we have this one, okay? What does she like? And the third one is good. 4, 5, 6 one. Diana, remember, when it's parents, it's two persons. So it's you. So we say, where do your parents come from? We don't add the S, okay? Here we have one good and one bad. So you need to remember, das is just for third person, she, he, or it, okay? Here we use you. So where do your parents come from? You have this one, good. Here we have good, good. And now the second part. So the first one is Carlos, very good. The second one, does Tom goes to school by bus? So here, does Tom goes, we don't use es. We use the verb in a normal form. So, does Tom go to school by bus? Here, Diana, you need to check the verb, okay? And here, no, he doesn't. He go to school on foot. Here, we change the form. He goes because it's a third person, okay? So now here, okay, here because I didn't use the contraction is bad the answer, but regular is it's okay. The answer is good. So here, because I don't use the construction.
Okay.
Okay. The same thing here in the fourth. Because I don't use the contraction, is shows like is wrong, but it's good actually. Okay, this is a small exercise that you can practice, but I can see, Carlos, that you already understand this topic very good actually. Did you see before this topic, Carlos?
Teacher, in this moment, I teaching about this topic with my students. I teaching English class in my house. So in the last classroom, I teach about this topic.
Okay, very good. Actually, this topic is very nice. It's just question of thinking about in third person. We need to add the s at the end of the verb. But when it's questions in negative form, we don't add the s at the end of the verb. Okay, we use do or doesn't. Diana, I will send you this presentation for today, and the PowerPoint presentation, and you can also study in your house and make some exercise about this. It's just question of remember the s at the end of the verb in the third person. But very good, actually, you did a great job today, and I'm glad about that. Thanks so much. Thank you so much for being in this session. I hope you like this session. What do you think about this session, Diana?
Um, for me was hard because me confundí. Me confundí.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Sí, voy a practicar más con los ahí en los videos.
Okay, yes, it's true. It's just question of practicing a lot, but for sure you will learn a lot, because always we need to be conscious about this third person, and we need to add the s, and we need to use the do or the doesn't or whatever. Okay, so it's just question of practicing a lot of this. Okay. Carlos, what do you think about this lesson?
Teacher, I think this lesson it was very important because we had talk about, for example, in our daily routines with this important topic. Um, for example, you can talk about with this topic in your daily activities, and this topic is very frequently when we are talking in English. It was very important for me. Thank you, teacher.
Okay, thank you so much. And yes, it's important to check this topic, because we can give opinions, we can say something about ourselves, and it's important actually. This topic is just question of practicing a little bit, and try to write a little bit affirmative, positive, negative, and question form. So it's just question of practicing, but I think this topic is very interesting and important also. Okay, thank you so much for coming to this session today, and see you for the next one. The next one, we are going to talk about the past tense. So I hope you can check this topic, because also it's important, and we can see, I think, in 2 days. Okay.
Okay, teacher.
Thank you so much, and have a good day. Okay.
Thank you, teacher. Bye.
You too, teacher. Take care. Bye bye, Diana.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.